Good.
Good afternoon. I'm Chuck.
And I'm Brian.
Welcome to Power Talk, PowerBidding.com.
Thank you. And again, they love us more and more each time we do this.
We're the number one trusted source to buy and sell online. We're going to talk a little bit about our page today.
Yeah.
Talk to you about why we're here and how the website works and all those good things.
Good. Yeah, we wanted to introduce ourselves. My name is Brian Tyner, and you are...
I'm Chuck Glanville.
And we are founders of PowerBidding.com, and what we wanted to do is create an online auction that is the best place to buy and sell and be trustworthy about what we're doing as far as making a community auction place online that is an easy place to buy, sell, and enjoy a purchase.
A trusted source.
Source.
That's where our third-party inspections come in.
Correct.
It changes it from the rest of the industry.
Correct. Not a lot of people are doing that, and we want transparency and everybody to be up front and know what exactly is going on with an item. The inspection, we're using that as a tool to get a better description of the items that we're selling so that the buyer has a more unbiased view of the exact condition or close to the exact condition of what that object is.
It takes a surprise out of buying something online.
Yeah, it takes a lot of the guesswork out, and especially if you're wanting to buy something, and these aren't small items. This is usually the second largest purchase a person ever makes outside of their home. So these items, if you know exactly what you're doing, why not have somebody look at it that's a professional that knows what they're doing, can check it out for you, and then you don't have to do all that legwork to do that. We've already taken care of that for you.
And the other benefits of this website, we have some financing available.
Yeah.
We have shipping available. We have lots of options like that available with this website too.
Yeah. And another fun thing we're going to do is have a live auction feed.
Absolutely. At the end of every auction.
At the end of the auction. So either Chuck or I and maybe some more people down the road, but we'll have maybe the seller come on, talk to us more about the item. We'll go over the inspection report, things that we see about the item, kind of give it our spin and what we think about that item, and then maybe even take questions from bidders and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What kind of items are we going to be selling on the site?
That's a great question, Chuck. I'm glad you asked. So we have all sorts of items. It's not just cars. It's not just classic cars. We're doing motorcycles, RVs, boats, airplanes, eventually down the road, basically anything of any value that somebody would want to have looked at so that you can see what you're getting. But yeah, it's not just limited. We're going to do anything that
memorabilia too.
Oh, I forgot all about the memorabilia section. So yeah, memorabilia, signs, different types of parts that you can buy on our classified ad listings. We want to make this a one-stop shop for everybody to get all sorts of items.
Absolutely. We already kind of briefly touched on at the end of every auction, we're going to have a live feed and talk a little bit about the car that's on there and maybe answer some questions, maybe even possibly in the future have the seller on at the time of the end of the auction, the last 10 minutes or so, something like that.
Yeah, all sorts of, anything we can do to give more information about the item. That's what we want to do, is give everybody as much information about the item as possible.
All right. We also, let's talk about fees and how that all works.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have some of the lowest fees out there, and we want everybody to not have to worry about these fees. You go to some of these big auction houses, your 10% buyer's fee, 10% seller fee, listing fees of $1,000 or more. And so our listing fee is $199, and that allows us to send out an inspector and do that inspection for you, and then we use that inspection to create the listing, and then once that listing goes, it runs live for 7 days. At the end of that, the seller usually will pay a 1.5% fee. Buyers only pay a 3.5% fee, which is the lowest out there. I mean, that's almost negligible when you're bidding on an item like this.
And quite honestly, it's low compared to some of their websites, and you get a lot more. With the inspection and the help we can give you with other things.
Yeah.
Number 7 we talked about is community we want to build.
Yeah.
We want to have a place where people can go and talk about cars and what's on the website, and just build a community of cars and airplanes and boats and motorcycles.
Yeah.
We want to be kind of all inclusive and have that kind of community gathered here and talk about subjects and podcast with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, we want everybody to be involved, everybody to get in and chat and give their opinion and share information is the most important
Absolutely.
thing, because not everybody, you and I are not experts at everything. What are we? We're jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah, something like that. But I mean, I guess the idea is if you're looking at a Miata, we're just going to pick a car out of the air, and it's on the site and it's going to sell, and you want to know something, you can ask a question, and maybe somebody will pipe up who has 10 Miatas.
Yeah.
And they'll give you some information that you didn't know, and we could all learn something.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
Great way to build a community about that.
Sure. The
else
forums
about
too,
that?
and that's another way. I mean, you start a chat if you want to talk about what's going on in the industries, or if how electric cars are changing things or whatever. You could get on the forum, ask questions about something,
Absolutely.
and then let everybody else chime in, and we'll all talk about it.
Let's talk about the videos that guide you through our website.
Yeah, we're going to have some videos where these websites are a little bit complicated, and it takes a little bit of learning curve to get on these. So we're going to have some videos set up to where we'll guide you through almost click by click on how to navigate the site, where to go, and make it easier for you. So when you get on here, you just watch these videos real quick, and it'll make things a lot quicker and easier for you to understand as we go through this.
Go down the header menu and we'll
Oh
video
yeah,
all
we'll,
that kind of
we'll
stuff.
go
that you
through
need to
there.
learn.
The header menu on here it's kind of self-explanatory, and you go through and take a look at things. The memorabilia part, auctions. There's plenty of sections where the aircraft, the autos, boats. You can go through the past sections, which is a great deal. So if something did not sell, you can actually contact us, and we can see if we can arrange a deal afterwards and get items sold.
Bid goes on.
Yeah,
Always goes on.
It keeps going until somebody gets it. The forum chats where we can go through and chat about everything and anything. I mean, we want to chat. The news and resource sections, I kind of love. And what I want this to be is a one-stop shop, not only just for buying and selling, but gathering information. And eventually, we'll have a big enough library where you're bidding on a 280Z, and there all sorts of information can come up about the 280Z in that listing. That's something we're working on right now. But all sorts of resources, and then the podcast section where we're going to be up there 2 to 3 times a week.
Doing a podcast, talking about cars.
Being our goofy selves and
talking about the cars that are on our site,
Yeah.
and the cars that are for sale, or an upcoming something or other that we might see out in the world. We kind of come across lots of cars. So
lots. And then we're, have some great guests we're gonna get lined up to come on and chat with us about things. Go through what's going on in the industries, and
absolutely,
and pick people's brains about all sorts of subjects. And how it works section. If you want to get started, read it real quick. It kind of breaks down what we got going on the site. It can be pretty cut and dry once you get into it, and a lot of information in there. Shipping, we're going to be able to help you out with shipping. You can enter in a destination. We'll try to get you a rough idea. Of course, these figures, since the gas prices are going through the roof,
diesel cost a lot.
Oh my gosh! So these prices are fluctuating almost daily now. But we'll help you line that up. This will kind of give you kind of a ballpark of where things are and getting it to you. And some financing options for you to help you get financing if you need to do something to get a loan or whatever, if you don't have all those funds right up front. But we want you to have those pre-approved to get ready to go before you're bidding.
Absolutely.
We don't want to charge somebody money if they can't really get the item. We're not about just collecting money. We want people to buy and sell and be happy doing it. So there's a lot of information. We're going to be adding more and more good stuff to this as we go along. We plan on a lot of bigger things and making this a fun, exciting site that people to get on and enjoy buying and selling.
Absolutely, and we want it to be simple. Like we keep saying, we want to be the trusted source for you to buy and sell. Mm-hmm. And we're really working hard with the inspections and things like that to bring you a better product than is already out there.
Yeah.
That's the whole idea behind this.
Yeah, yeah. We start with our backgrounds and stuff like that, and I always, when I was going through this, and I said, there's better ways to buy and sell, not just cars, but anything. I grew up in a car background, and I wanted to have a place. I've always wanted to have a place where things are just easy. It's life is so much more complicated when you got to go shopping for this, and you deal with salesmen and all this type of stuff. Nobody wants to go through that crap.
But the auction idea is a great idea, because the idea is, if you're selling something, you have everybody that can be interested in it, in that item at the time.
Yeah.
And you have more people wanting to bid.
Yeah.
And instead of just having a car priced at a certain price, you don't know if you got a good deal or not.
No.
In theory, you outbid one person or 10 people, but there was a guy right behind you that was willing to bid 100 less or whatever. Auction is a good idea.
It gives you a great market value, because anything is only worth what somebody's willing to pay for.
Absolutely.
So this tells you, this is where the market is for these things. And that's a good thing, is you're not just having to guess. It's all online there.
If you're trying to sell something, you better have a room full of people than just one person in front of you.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
Oh, it tells you exactly where you're at with it. So, and you got to remember, some people are emotionally attached to their items, and they might think their item is worth a little bit more than other people feel it's worth, because it's in their heart. It's not in their brain for the value. And this kind of puts that all in perspective. Everybody there's some great stories to some of these cars. And, if these cars could talk, if these boats could talk and tell you what they've done, that would be so much fun. But the deal is that we try to bring that stuff to life, and then people can decide where those values lie after that point.
Nobody wants to buy the love that you have for your item.
Although sometimes it's good to buy the love.
Sometimes it's good to love.
Everything needs to be loved.
I've bought some love before. I just thought I really needed it. So one more time.
But yeah. Oh yeah. And that's kind of what this whole marketplace is changing. And we're trying to make it not only. The good thing about buying is the good thing about selling on here. So if you want to sell an item, it's easy. You contact us, send us a note, drop an email, but sell your item.
It works both ways.
Yeah.
With the person that comes out and inspects it. It protects
they're
you
going
too.
They're going to do a lot of the work for you. They're going to take tons of pictures. We're going to get a video of it running and driving. They're going to do all of that for you. They submit that directly to us. You just tell us about the item. We'll get the item listed. We'll put together a nice write-up for it. We'll have you take a look at that. We'll make sure everybody's on board, and then we'll list it up. And that process is very quick. We're going to turn these things around in usually about 2 or 3 days. It's not going to be these 2 or 3 week wait times or anything like that, or have to wait for a live auction 2 or 3 months down the road. You want to sell something, we can get that handled really quick. Get you connected up with the buyer. You guys transfer information, do what you need to do, and line everything up. We're going to be here to help guide you through all of the process from beginning to end. You're going to have a dedicated account rep that's going to be there to help you. You contact us, any questions you have. We're going to walk you through it. It's a very simple process. Anybody can do it as long as you can just type your information into the computer.
And for a reasonable fee.
And a real reasonable fee. And even if you can't, you just call us. We'll handle it.
Number one trusted source, buying and selling online.
Yeah. So what did you do, Chuck, before you got involved with this?
I've done everything.
Yeah.
I started at a car museum when I was 16, washing cars. I've done a little bit of everything in the car business. I've been operations manager in a Corvette store. I've done classic cars. We used to go to Cruise International. I spend weeks down in Auburn, Indiana, getting that to sale. I mean, one year we did like 57 cars. I was beat dead tired when we were done, but I've been in the car business most of my life.
So before this, though, you were doing something kind of fun and exciting.
I was on the road with Meekum Collector Car Auction.
Yeah.
I did the phone bids for about 8 years, and then I went on and did a little bit of the bid goes on for a little while, and it's time for me to come off the road. So it was just time.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I've got to see some of the world's best cars, but even from a young man, I was at Barrett in the 90s, I got to go lots of places. I've seen lots and lots of cars. I'm very fortunate. I've got to make some real good deals. The most expensive car I've ever sold was $2.3 million.
That's all.
Plus 10% fees. It was a good
10,
weekend.
10. But let's go over that again.
I'm sorry.
10,
It was actually 12% because he was on the phone.
Oh, there we go. 12% fee on
2.3 million.
2.3 million. Yeah, that's quite a bit.
Yep.
Just to reiterate that point, I just wanted to bring that up. But yeah, so the it's an interesting background, and I come from a background too where I grew up in the car business. I've watched how they sold cars back in the 70s and 80s, and I always said that that's a completely strange way to have to buy and sell cars. I didn't want to get in the car business because of that, and I ended up getting into the car business. I've been to auctions and watched how that whole deal, dealer auctions, public auctions, the Meekums and all that kind of things, that can be a very intimidating process in itself too.
Absolutely can.
We try to take that fear out of that here. I always sold cars, and I wanted to be transparent. I always wanted to say, this is what we have. I'm not a professional look at cars. I'm not a trained mechanic. If I have to pick up a wrench, then you're in trouble because your car is going to be in worse shape than when you brought it to me. But so I always, I wanted to have it to where somebody could know exactly what it is, and I don't want to have to try to sell around something. I want everybody to know what they're getting.
Absolutely.
That was part of the motivation
And
for all of this.
Quite honestly, you need to do your own research.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot about a lot of cars,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not a break it down numbers guy on Mopars or Chevelles. No. I know a lot about Corvettes because I spent a lot of time with Corvettes, but I'm not the guy who knows everything that happened in all these cars, and there are people out there that do.
Yes. Yes. And a lot of them that can.
I also held the record up until recently for the most expensive Hemi Daytona, which I sold for $900,000 plus 12%. One just sold in Indy this year for 1.2 plus fees. So, but I had the record for about 6 years. So
that's it's an interesting thing that these cars or collectibles or even boats, some of these things, the prices that these things are, they're not just cars anymore. They're works of art on wheels. They're collectible. They make people
their history.
Their history.
And the Hemi Daytona I sold to David Spade. Mm-hmm. He finally got his Hemi, and it was a 6,000 mile Hemi Daytona with 6,000 miles on it. Pretty loaded up, not most loaded, but well optioned car. But it's history. It's documented. Yeah. 6,000 mile Hemi Daytona.
That's just unbelievable.
There's not a ton of those cars around.
No,
there's just not.
No. So. And that's a great thing when somebody can buy it. It makes people so happy when they can get something like that. And even anything, when you get something that you've always wanted, regardless of what your price range is, it makes everybody so happy. The happiness on people's faces is just unreal when they can get something that they've worked hard and can enjoy. And especially, if you have somebody that's looked at it for you, and you know what you're getting.
And that goes from a number of years ago, I bought a Honda minivan from my neighbor who bought it brand new. And I was just going to buy it and flip it. But I started using it for one of my other businesses, and I ran the wheels off of it. Mm-hmm. I paid $500 for it. But I always felt good about it because I didn't give anything for it, and it was such a great vehicle for what I did. My kids were young at the time. I could keep my equipment in it and still haul my kids around. And it was a sad day when it left. But, I appreciate that car as much as not too many months ago, I got to sit in a real 67 L88 Corvette. Mm-hmm. And the appreciation I have for that car is a little different than I had for the minivan, but it still does something for me. Oh, yeah. I mean, 67 L88 convertible is about $4 million, but there's not but a handful, period.
Right.
And the people who know where they're at. Mm-hmm. And it's a special thing to me to be around cars like that.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate the Honda minivan too, or the Miata, or a motorcycle. or even a runabout boat.
One of my favorites, I had an M30 convertible. I think it was a 91 or something.
My friend had an M30 coupe.
Oh, thought it was awesome. I loved it at the time. I was like, this is just fun. A Volvo V70R, that station wagon.
Yep.
Oh, just a little bitty rocket of a station wagon back for the time. And
I had a buddy that had one of those that had downpipes and stuff. It made like 500 horses, all-wheel drive. You're taking a family to the grocery store.
Yeah, quickly. I mean, and those types of things are so much fun. And that's what we want to do is have everybody enjoy these types of things.
Absolutely.
We're going to have we hit all our button?
We've hit all our buttons, and I think we should probably wrap this up.
We're going to wrap this up. We're going to try to have auction podcast. We're going to run through that hopefully 2 to 3 times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. We're going to come out with those. Look for exciting stuff that we're going to be doing with it. Yeah. Look for the auctions. We'll go through and we'll talk about these different things coming up on the auctions, and we'll watch this grow and grow and grow into this big community that it should be.
The podcast will be a little more fun, a little more about cars and stories and stuff like that, where this is a little more educational, talking about the site and what you need to know about it.
Yeah.
PowerBidding.com.
Yeah.
Your trusted source to buy and sell.
Check it out. All right. Thanks
Come
a lot,
see
Chuck.
us.
All right.